And we are live. So Anna, the floor is yours.
Okay, so hi and welcome. We are online now for the workshop Female Power in Startup World. I want to thank Startup Wise guys who decided to organize this online event. I'm very excited to be here today. Just 1 minute to introduce myself. My name is Anna Gaudenzi. I am StartupItalia's editor-in-chief. StartupItalia is an Italian magazine who talks about innovation, startup, entrepreneurship. And of course, I really care about the problem that we are going to explore today, female power in startup world, the gender balance in startup world. In Italy, less than 15% of startups are led by a woman. And even if there are some good signals that maybe we can discuss during this session, the situation in terms of equality, in terms of investments and possibility for women is not very good. As StartupItalia, we decided to found a community that we call Unstoppable Women, in order to let Italian people know that there are smart and talented women in technology field, and that they must spread their voice, and so everybody have to know them. But now it's time to start. So we are going to listen to three amazing women, each of them that represent a different layer of startup scene. And they will share with us their experience. I also want to notice that the panel discussion is on streaming, and you can leave some question or comments, and I will take them and make the question to the speaker. So I think that we can start, and I want to thank Fausta Pavesio. Hi, Fausta. Nice to...
Hi. Thank you for the invitation. Nice to be here. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Startup Why guys.
Okay.
My name is Fausta Pavesio. I have been working in strategic management consulting and innovation, both in Europe and in the US for more than 40 years now. And since more or less 10 years, I also work with startups. I also have my own little portfolio as an angel investor. I have now 10 companies in my personal portfolio. I work also as an advisor, and I am sitting on the board or the advisory board of both startups and scale-ups. Mainly Italian, but also in other countries here in Europe now. I have been an advisor also for an international fund, which is trying to help European scale-up to go to the US. And now, since a few months, I am also working with Startup Why guys as the venture partner for Italy. I focus a lot on gender balance in the world of startup and innovation, and I am trying to help women entrepreneurs on one hand, and on the other hand also to develop a female angel investing culture. Because I think it is very important, and my main focus is internationalization, because I firmly believe that we need to have European companies, not Italian companies or German companies or French companies, if we want to compete globally. So I think that building angel networks or and doing cross-border investment without fellow women angels in the other European countries is really, really important.
Okay, thank you, Fausta. And then we have also Camilla Falkenberg.
Yes.
Can you please introduce yourself just for 2 minutes?
Of course. My name is Camilla. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited for this panel discussion. I am the co-founder of Female Invest and also a partner in the company. Female Invest is Europe's leading financial educator on personal finance and investing, targeting women, as the name suggests. We are based here in Copenhagen, Denmark, but we have subscribers in 55 countries today. And recently we won Kache Women's Initiative, which is the biggest startup competition in the world for female founders, which came with the very fortunate prize of $100,000. And the whole process around Kache Women's Initiative was also to encourage more female founders within the startup ecosystem. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Camilla. And then we have Johanna-Mai, co-founder and CEO of Zelos. Please.
Hi. Indeed. I'm a startup CEO. I'm a woman, not that rare anymore nowadays. As a background, I'm originally an arts graduate, so I think that's a slightly funny story. I was in the arts and then I turned into entrepreneurship. So in my day-to-day, now I'm a full-time startup CEO. We've been building Zelos for 3 years now. It's a task management solution for large communities. So we're building this tool for large teams who function according to the principles of volunteering or, this goal-oriented management. And our team is 70% female, which is really nice, but it's not a surprise because we are in the space of HR, we are in the space of people management, and this is very traditionally female area to do the back office, to do the management, to do, these people, people management.
Okay, thank you. Thank you to all of you. And then I start again from Fausta, and I want to ask you, from your point of view, how is the situation in the Italian startup ecosystem? Do you think that women are well represented?
So I think the Italian startup ecosystem is really still behind if compared to the other European countries. I know a little bit about the Nordics because I have one daughter actually in Copenhagen and one in Stockholm. So I am really I am trying to confront Italy with the Nordics, and this situation is really different. I think that we need the education and we need the training, both for entrepreneurs and for investors as well. In general, the government has made important step in Italy with supporting venture capital and with the new Fondo Italiano Innovazione. Even if, in my opinion, the government should rely more on existing funds and on existing angel network and just match what these kind of operators are doing instead of building a governmental venture capital fund. But this is my personal idea. And in the regards of internationalization, I think that startup wise guys coming to Italy is very important because it will bring internationalization. As far as women, we are starting to see more women entrepreneurs, but we are still behind. We need to push, and we need more women investing also because women helps women, and so it is very important to have investors supporting female investors supporting female entrepreneurs. It took 10 years to go from 10% or 20% of companies with female female founders funded in general. Not in Italy, is a global number. There is an interesting new French-based paper about women investing and women entrepreneurs. but we still low. And I think, I mean, in Italy, we, as far as women, we are a little behind, but not as much as the ecosystem in general.
Okay, thank you, Fausta. I'm very happy to see that we have lots of comments right now, and I saw that there are people from Argentina and people from Kenya that are listening to us. I'm very excited about this. So thank you, and later we will take your question. But first, I want to ask the same question I asked to Fausta, also to Camilla. Because you live in Denmark, and I want to see to know if even in Denmark you have the problem of the gender gap in startups.
I think we definitely still have a problem in helping female founders in Denmark as well. Unfortunately, the situation is only slightly better than in Italy. I just read a report that in 2020, only 25% of the companies being founded were founded by women. And last year, in 2019, only around 2% of capital or venture capital was given to female founders, which is very similar to the rest of the world, unfortunately, even though we in Denmark are quite far ahead in terms of gender equality. And I think the most important fact to remember here is that actually nothing has really changed in the past 10 years. So we haven't made any progress, although the statistics are slightly better than what Fausta mentioned for Italy. And I think for me personally, I haven't noticed it too much. I think we've been quite fortunate because we work in a relatively male-dominated field, being finance and investing. But actually today, funny story, as I was preparing for this, I was speaking to a consultant who was supposed to help us with looking into EU soft funding. And then I sent him an email with our credentials and all the things that have happened this year, including winning the Kachir Prize, and that our sales have increased by 1,500% and a few other things. And then I wrote him a long mail, and he replied very shortly that unfortunately the EU only funds real entrepreneurs, and that he didn't see that the EU would be interested in helping women with their spare pocket change. And I just thought that was incredibly condescending. I read it out to the whole team, and we were just sitting in the room just in shock because it was very, very condescending. And I think that is probably the worst that I've experienced so far. But in general, I think we've been quite fortunate in that it hasn't been too much of a factor for us. But I think there's definitely a lot of work to do still. And I think that, yeah, there are many initiatives that could be taken which could significantly improve some of these statistics.
Yeah. Thank you, Camilla. And Johanna, you are a founder, and I read that you help large teams to fulfill their purpose. So I want to ask if, in your opinion, there are differences in teams formed by women and teams formed by men.
That's a wonderful question, and it's a very simple answer to this, actually. Having homogenic teams, that's always really hard to deal with, and it can be gender or anything else. It's very human and natural to get stuck in a bubble if everyone in your vicinity is like you. So if it's all men, if it's all women, all teenagers, all Estonians, whatever this homogeneity is, it makes it very, very hard. It only works well if you're in execution mode. You go through large volumes of repetitive things. You run a factory or something. That's when it works. But that's not very common nowadays. We usually, do tasks that are not these automatic. So in those teams, people are expected to contribute with personal skills and traits and thoughts and experiences. And that's a very, very good thing if you have complementary skill sets to cover each other's shortcomings. And this is where it's crucial to have the diversity. And sure, there are stereotypes in all cultures. For example, if I'm recruiting teams here in Estonia, yes, there are more women that have a knack and skills for customer service. And then there's men who are likely to be drawn to technical jobs, and they like to tinker with cables. But the moment you find this one exception, you get this one technical woman or you get this one service-minded man into the team, this majorly upgrades the team. And, the quality just skyrockets, because when you have this otherness near you, and you're able to deal with it, hopefully, if the team leader is good, you put the team together in a way that it's manageable. When you have this otherness near you, it brings this extra level of respect and attention, because you can't be 100% sure, like, yeah, everyone's like me. Everyone's a copy of me. So there's other people that, I need to listen to. They have a slightly different perspective, and that really, really merits the whole team. And if you allow this to happen, it is such a bonus. So my answer is diverse teams, putting people together of both genders. That is the perfect solution.
Okay, I agree with you. It's really the right solution. And I want to add another piece in our puzzle, and the question for Fausta, which is can you talk a bit with us about your experience in female angel investing arena?
Oh, so I am usually saying I became an angel for a coincidence, because the first time I had the equity in change for professional services, and so this was my first the first startup in my portfolio was made that way. And then I met like-minded people. Both women and men, and we started sharing information, talking about innovation and so on. And then I was really lucky, because a couple of years ago I was in a EU project called Women Investing for Entrepreneurs. It was a really interesting project that lasted more or less 1 year. And it was made a picture of the status of the angel investment, female angel investment arena in the different countries in Italy, the most important countries. I think we had Italy, Spain, France, UK, Belgium, and I don't remember the sixth one. And it was very interesting. It's very nice. A very nice report came out, and the most important thing was that the issue is that women are not investing because they do not know to have the possibility to invest in startup. I mean, if you are not, we are always talking in our inner circle, more or less. But if you talk to the normal people on the street, they really don't know anything about this kind of things. Their bank consultant prefer to tell them to invest in, financial old kind of instruments. And so this is to say that we have really a big job in terms of education and information to give all around. And the situation in Europe was more or less the same. Maybe in UK they are a little more advanced, but in UK, if you think the UK Angel Association has something like 2,000 members. In Italy, IBAN, which is the Italian Business Angel Association, on IAG, they have 100, 150, 120. So, the numbers are really different, both in men and women is completely different. We are growing, but I think we still have a lot to do, just in terms to spread the word.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Fausta. And Camilla, do you agree with Fausta? And which is the mission of Female Invest? Do you have some story that you want to share with us?
Yes, I very much agree with Fausta on everything, actually. And the mission of Female Invest is very ambitious. The mission is to create gender equality, financially speaking, not just in the Nordics, but in the world. So realistically, it probably won't happen in my lifetime, but it's something that we're working very hard towards. And the way we do that is by giving women all the tools and the knowledge they need to make the most of their money and begin investing. And then the second way is by actually helping banks directly in how they communicate and how they reach out to their female clients. So that's the mission. And the reason that this is still important is because women are falling behind financially everywhere in the world. In Europe, women last year retired with 35% less than men. 35% less. I think that is a shocking fact, given how much focus we have on gender equality right now. And obviously there are many reasons behind this. It's not just that women don't invest to the same extent, it's also that women earn less, they typically save less, and they also have a tendency to take up more debt. So by giving women the resources and the knowledge, and also some role models so that they can see that investing is for them and it's not difficult, it doesn't require a huge fortune, and it's actually quite easy to get started, we hope to really make a contribution towards this.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, I am usually saying, we women are not risk averse. We are risk aware, which is a
exactly
different thing.
I couldn't agree more. And I think actually something that we experience a lot is that some of the things that hold women back from investing is that they feel like they need to be experts in everything. And that does not mean that they are risk averse. It just means they like to know what they're getting themselves into before they get started. So exactly like Fausta says, risk aware, not risk averse.
Yeah, that's true. It's really true. And Johanna, you said that you were an art manager and then you turn into entrepreneur. And I would like to ask you if there is a gap between man and woman even in arts job.
Surprisingly, not that much. And this is the main journey for me in this transition. I mean, I started as an arts manager, and this is a super cliche answer, but I was terrified of anything to do with business, anything to do with like finances. I was really, early in my life, I had the impression that this is an elite club for people who have businesses. And I didn't have a business suit, so I didn't know how the stock market works. So this is where I come from. And well, I thought this is necessary to understand how stock market works. Guess what? It's not. I thought it was supposed to be really, really hard because it's hard in the arts where I was. This is a really, really tough area to be in. So for me, everything that had to do with business sounded even more difficult. But as I learned about stuff, nobody knows how these big things work. Nobody knows how the stock market works, how to exactly create a successful business. It is no more scientific than the process of creativity in arts. There are some rules, but then there's something else. And I think I thought I can't figure out these rules in the business. And for some reason, I was confident I can figure it out in the arts because I was told, this is how that works. And now that I've seen both sides, it's at least as hard to succeed in the arts, but women are fine with that. We have these programs that are arts management and it's full of girls. It's exactly the same program as business management, which is mostly for boys. The core skills are exactly the same. The difference is, when you're an arts manager, you pull off these huge events for like thousands of attendees, but you don't have a budget. You have like a golf cart and a roll of duct tape and you pull it off because, that's what you do. And then, in business management, you learn that you need a budget. You need to fundraise, you need to have, these skills as well. And you can do stuff, core skills are the same, but these are somehow different programs. And why, I don't know why. It's just the way that things are in my experience. And, it has been a very fun journey going from one to the other. And I don't know why more girls can't take that. I mean, it's not even a jump. It's the same. It's exactly the same things, managing business and managing arts. I don't know what the difference is.
Yes, I agree with you. And you have also a friend that is saying hello to you, Stoyan Yankov. Great to see you. Okay, we have really a lot of questions, and I want to take one of them that is for Fausta from Christine Moppel. I don't know if we can share with the audience. Okay, how can Italy get more women in startup world, and how could other countries, for example, the Nordic that you mentioned, help in this? Very difficult question for you. You are mute.
Fausta, you are muted.
Thank you. Sorry, Anna. It is really a very difficult question. So I was mute because I didn't know what to say. But anyway, no, I think we need to introduce some kind of tool to help, also maybe VC get more aware of women founders. And I know that there are nice experiments in Canada, for what I remember, to use artificial intelligence to evaluate the proposals, the pitches, the information coming from the different companies, because they are saying that pitching is not something really good for a girl or a lady, and because usually the investor are used to be in front of men, and so this is to say that probably we need to find out and to try to understand what kind. I don't like quota, for example, also in the for the board, the normal companies board constitution. But I think that it is important. It was important, especially in the beginning, even here in Italy. Now we have a lot of women on board, on boards, both for public company and private company, because we started pushing quotas, which I don't agree. I mean, I don't agree about quotas in general, but was the right move to do, to start to push this kind of things. And so we need to find something similar. Talking about the other countries, the Nordics, but the other countries in general, as I was saying earlier, I really think that internationalization is key, because I think that confronting the different cultures can add. It was more or less the same talk that Johanna was making. Having differences, it's always the same issue. Diversity helps. So, having also different countries and different cultures talking each other is going to add anyway value in any case. And also because, talking about tech, for example, you in the Nordics and in the Baltics and in Ukraine and everywhere northeast or also east, you are very good at tech. We Italians are maybe much better at communication, or the creativity of the Italian entrepreneurs and everything, but maybe, and I have seen a lot of startups missing the technical competencies, and so mixing is going to help, and in this mix we can also mix boys and girls, probably since the very beginning in school and everything, trying to teach tech also to the girls and everything is going to help a lot. I don't think it's a question of Italy or different.
It's a global problem. It's
going to help.
Yeah, I think that also communication play a great role. I think that we have to spread the voice of women, maybe with events like this, or with articles on newspapers talking about the talent of women and startups founded by women. Because in the events, a lot of time we don't have a lot of women. There are lots of men, and so I think that communication play a very great role in this revolution through the equality between.
Yes, Anna, I think that you should start to push unstoppable women at an European level, because unstoppable women, I must say, here in Italy is a very important movement, I would say. And so we need to take this kind of movement to an European level and try to bring together also other women coming from different countries. Everybody likes to come to Italy usually, so now we are a little stopped by the pandemic, but as soon as we can travel again, we will invite all the European friends to come to Italy and join the movement, the women startup movement.
Okay, thank you. And Camilla, do you think that we can do something together as Europe to overcome this gap?
I think we definitely can. I think there are 3 things that I would do. And the first is similar to what you were saying, Anna, that we need to highlight role models. I read recently that when you consider the differences in number of female versus male founders, then women still only get around 10% of press coverage. So that means that they're not very visible. And in my personal experience, if you can't see it, you can't be it. You need to see women that look like you. You need to see other women being out there having success with their startups to be inspired and encouraged to know that you can do the same. So that's the first point. The second one I would say is that we need more educational offerings, both for potential founders, but also actually for VCs and similar, because I think there's still a lot of unconscious bias. Like Fausta was saying, VCs are normally men, and therefore they're normally more used to seeing also male founders pitching. And I think there is a high degree of unconscious bias in that women then don't get the benefit of the doubt, and that there's typically some sort of idea that it's more risky to invest in women than it is in men, even though women actually tend to do really well once they do take the leap and become entrepreneurs. And then the third point is that I think we need some policy initiatives. I think there are some unfair advantages for men in terms of maternity leave, because if you're in a corporate job, typically you have some sort of coverage and other policy initiatives that help you out and make it less risky to go on maternity, because you will have the financial security, and you of course don't have that if you are a new investor, or a new founder. So yeah, those are the 3 things I would do: role models, education, and then some policy initiatives to help out with the risk factors such as maternity leave.
Okay, thank you very much. And I want to ask to Johanna one question from Stoyan Yankov, who asks, how could more women be attracted to become founders? What are the main obstacles preventing ladies to take the leap? Let's debunk these myths. So
okay. There are no obstacles, full stop. Like, there are no obstacles. There's a lot of issues that we have, and these can be overcome, but there are no obstacles, like no real obstacles. And this is what I'm sure about. How we can overcome the issues that feel like obstacles, because it's real, it's hard, and issues are super hard. So one of the things that has already been said, the role models. I have had, this is, I don't know, luck, or this is just, a reason why I'm here as I am. I have had a wonderful role model. My mother is crazy. She has been an entrepreneur as much of her life as possible. And, we're here in Estonia, more than half of her history is Soviet Union, which was not encouraging entrepreneurship. The moment that actual obstacle went, she started her company and she has been on it. She's still running her company at 75 years of age. That is insane. I totally admire that, and that has been such a role model for me to push through. I've never had anyone female in my family go to work as an employee. I've never seen that happen. So I didn't have that. I never had a thought that I should go and get a job. That did not exist in my world. So I started a different path. So that's one of the things. And the other thing that I think is important is to have, not just the good examples as the role models. We need to have bad examples, because, the idea of having to be perfect, having to be right, do the correct things, it kind of, yes, is more present with females than it is with males. And the fear to do things that you've never done before, because it feels like the possibility for failure is grand. Yes, it is. It's very unlikely that you succeed with things, but that's okay. It's okay to fail, because that's how you learn. It's okay to be imperfect, because that makes you better. But if we don't have these failures and examples that we see, that, they failed, didn't matter. Stuff went on, something, bad things happened, didn't matter. Stuff went on. These are the examples that I think, we're generally missing. For some reason, men, don't care that much. Okay, went wrong, I'll try again. For girls, for some reason, that becomes an issue more often. Not for everyone, but yes. So can we have a panel just sharing all the stuff that's gone wrong, to see that, didn't matter. Life went on. And, the 50th time, the 100th time, that was a success. And that's what we talk about. But we don't see all this, mess before. And that is so, so valuable and important. So, yeah.
Okay. So you have also a big role as a founder in the changing and overcoming the gap. In my opinion, you are a role model for a lot of girls. You and also other founders, but it's not so easy, especially for a country like Italy, where really for a female startup is the road, the path is very hard. And Fausta, what do you think about role modeling? Do you have a role model?
I fully agree. And, I am by far the oldest in this group, and I could be probably your mother. And, I was thinking about my girls when Johanna was talking. And I remember that I have been trying to be a role model for them, also because, as the Americans say, actions speak louder than words. And so I try to be a role model for my children, and I think I pretty succeeded. And I am trying to be the same with the girls I am working with that are entrepreneurs here in Italy, or also working with a couple of Spanish ones. And I think it is really important, because you can go on talking and talking, but in the end, seeing other doing actually stuff, starting companies, failing, as Johanna was saying. And this is something here in Italy, as Johanna know, we are not used to. If you fail, you are done. I mean, nobody speaks to you anymore. So we need to show what is the path, not only to talk about it. So we need to try also. I am talking about Italy, to try to find the success cases that we have, and we have some good female entrepreneur here in Italy, and try to tell a story over and over, and trying to attract other girls to do the same job.
Yeah, Yes, it's true. It's true, and there are lots of Italian women that are great entrepreneurs, but we need more, more of them. Maybe we have to start, as you said, from the education and from schools and so on. I want to take a question from Roxolana Sluser, sorry for the pronunciation, for Camilla. What is the biggest challenge you faced as a female during your career? This is a very challenging question.
I think I actually really like what Johanna was saying about this in terms of also highlighting failures, because for me, the biggest, I would say not barrier, but the biggest concern I had was, what if this goes wrong? What if something doesn't work out the way we hoped or planned that it would? Will it all be like a failure then? Will it not be worth it? And I think for me, a great learning is that it's not about the end destination, it's about the journey and about enjoying that. So I think not being so concerned about failing, and just, if you have a great idea and if you are thinking about an idea is brewing in the back of your head and you're considering, jumping out as an entrepreneur, I would do it, because the biggest regret you're going to have is not doing it. Even if it doesn't work exactly like you hoped it would, the journey will for sure be worth it. I guarantee that.
Yeah, that's true. And there are really lots of questions from our from people that are following us. So thank you for listening to us. Miriam said, thanks for such a great discussion. My question is, what would you recommend to females who wish to launch a startup, but they are living in a country which is in war? This means that investment opportunities might be fewer for the country. This is a question from Armenia. Maybe Johanna can answer, but it's quite difficult, I think.
War is difficult.
Yeah,
I agree with this, but the question is not really about war. I mean, the fact that a country is at war, I mean, it makes the environment at heart and on a personal level. I mean, the whole world is in the middle of a pandemic right now. Life is hard. Things happen. Some countries are, it's always different. Launching a startup is also very, very hard. And if you launch a startup, you need to be sure that this is the only way for you to live, investment or not. So my answer to this would be, if you're only, or I mean, if the question is about, okay, I want to launch a startup, but I can't get investment, then you shouldn't launch a startup, because most startups don't get investment in war, not in war, in Armenia, somewhere else. Most startups don't, and most businesses are not startups, and they still, do things. They have fun. They have a successful business without any investment. Not every business model is investable, and these are the questions you need to ask, not about this. Okay, I'm not in a perfect environment. Depending on your business, solving things that these difficult situations bring may open up different possibilities. Pandemic has let many business models and many businesses bloom across the world, because it's a tough situation, because it's a pandemic. There's new problems, we solve them. So it can be that. But if it's just about like, well, I can't get investment, this is not the first question to be asking at all. That's my answer.
It was it is a very difficult answer, of course. And Faust, I want to ask you something curious, because in Italy, even if there is a pandemic in this 6 months, startups still grow in number. Now we have, I think, 11,000 startups in Italy. And I want to ask if this is a good signal in your opinion, and if maybe this strange and awful situation can also give some opportunities, maybe for women who want to start their career in entrepreneurship.
Yes, and I agree with what Johanna was saying. I mean, startups usually live in difficult moments all the time. I mean, they are used to be in a difficult environment, and they are used to do tough choices. And so, of course, the pandemic has, in my opinion, as far as the oldest company, the oldest startups, has really pointed out the good things, because they were able to, find maybe new business model, or pivot a little bit the business model, add the revenue stream, invent something different. At the same time, it gave the possibility to a lot of creative people to start exploring new ideas. I have not seen actually lot of women doing so, also because in Italy we have always the same problem, which is the one of gender balance in the workplace in general. And so for the Italian culture, women still need to take care of their children, and with the school closed as we have here, as it is not in Denmark, for what I understand, or was in minimal part, it's very difficult. So I don't think it's very. I don't think I am trying to brainstorm with you, but it's very difficult to be able to focus on a new idea if you have your children jumping all around you all the time. So I don't know if it is a good moment, but maybe, the opportunity is there. I go back to the main fact for Italy, that we need more support from the institution, for the government, in not only as far as money, but in a lot of issues.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that pandemic forced Italian people to try to use technology. We know that lots of teachers start using technology and digital classroom for the first time during spring times, and it was hard because it was the first time, and it was very huge. They must to have a very huge performance. So I think that maybe some countries like Denmark were more used to use technology and digital even in school, or not. Camilla.
Yes, sorry, just unmuting. Yes, I think we've been quite front runners actually in implementing technology all the way, or as early as primary school. So yes, definitely.
Yeah, I want to ask a question from Nazrin Guludzade. Sorry for the pronunciation. What do you think are there any network option for female founders? It is a cool idea to show some successful role models, or can be better to share their failures stories? Also, if you want Camilla to answer. We talk already about role models.
Yeah. I think, at least in Denmark, there are quite a few different networks that have been set up for female founders to get together and share experiences. So I'm sure you can, like, a great way to do that is just to search on Facebook, actually search for groups that are called something with female founders, and I'm sure that there will be quite a few in the various countries where everyone is dialing in from. I think it is equally important to share both success stories and failures. Like Johanna mentioned, we as women can tend to be so afraid of failing. And so if we see other women out there who on the outside might seem to have it all together and might seem to be one great success story, I'm sure that for every success, there probably have been 10 failures. So it is very, very important that also those of us who are fortunate to sometimes be in the press and sometimes be heard, that we also remember to share all the things that were difficult and all the things that didn't work out exactly as we had planned.
Okay, thank you. And Johanna, as a founder, do you have something to add about the networking option for female founders?
Love the networks that are being set up. There's a wonderful female founders association in Estonia as well, and they're doing a great job supporting females. However, I do have the diversity issue with these clubs as well, because when it's all female, then that goes haywire as well. So just generally networking, either male or female, highly recommended. And I don't know, somehow we just need to get the female founders to dismiss these voices in their head that say, well, you're not worthy to jump into those discussions, and just go in there and network and do those things, because it is important. And you see both the success and the failure stories only by networking. You see that the mistakes made usually, they are not finite. They are not, this, it's not an end. So you can overcome things, you can move forward. And the only way you can do that is by networking. But how can we do that? Also probably by example. So if we see strong females in those networks saying things out loud, saying controversial things that, maybe not everyone agrees with, and these discussions open, and you get both sides of stories, and you realize that there is no right answers. People disagree, and that's fine. And it's okay if I go in with my opinion and people don't agree with me, that's fine. And yeah, if those things just start happening, maybe it's easier for everyone.
Yeah, I think that community maybe is the right word. Share an idea together and ask to people who have more experience, not be shy. Maybe sometimes women are more shyer than men. So before the last question, I want to read two comments that I like very much. One is from Claudia Fanini. Thank you for organizing this event. As an entrepreneur, I think it will help women joining a female founders association to discuss problems, share ideas, overcome fears, and manage ups and downs. So I think that Claudia has the same opinion as Johanna, and we share the same opinion. And then Catherine said, women are actually amazing with facing challenges such as children logistic. I think that there is research supporting that women change careers and start new businesses during the maternity leave, which is not exactly quite an uneventful time. So that's true. That's a big problem. That's a big problem, especially when you don't have a welfare state behind you. So you have lots of maybe grandparents, but now with the pandemic, children and grandparents it's not very easy to meet each other, so it could be a problem. And
Anna, sorry, do you remember that we have in Italy a female founder actually, and Riccarda Zezza? just to give a little more piece of answer to Catherine. And she is working on a project that was, now they have changed name, but it was in the beginning called Maternity as a Master.
Yeah.
And it is actually a new program that they are putting together with a big research behind it and everything, that says that maternity of anyway becoming parents, so also paternity, not only maternity, but are points in your life where you actually develop a lot of soft skills that are going to help you a lot in your business career. So starting maybe during maternity could be a nice idea to.
Why not? Why not?
And we will ask the government to give, money to the in the maternity leave, just to help female founders.
Yeah, and maybe also demography. And we have 4 minutes, and I want to ask to all of you the same question. In a tweet, which is your encouragement for women? So starting from Fausta, and just...
my tweet would be, we women have curiosity, grit, and resilience, and I think that with these 3 characteristics, we can make the impossible happen.
Wow. Great. Camilla, your tweet. You are mute, maybe?
Sorry. I think in my tweet, I would choose to quote Jeff Bezos, the Amazon CEO, and say that in the end, we are our choices. Build yourself a great life.
Yeah, very good. Okay, and Johanna, your piece of advice?
My piece of advice. It doesn't matter. Nobody is judging. Get over it. Start having fun. Just be yourself, and you are wonderful. You will be successful if you do that.
Wonderful. You are wonderful. It's great to end our event with this word. So all women are wonderful and can do what they want. Of course, as men, is exactly the same. In my opinion, is we have to a bit to fight in this period, but we are women, so for us it's not it's not so weird. So thank you to all our speaker. Thank you, Fausta. Thank you, Camilla. Thank you, Johanna. And thank you, Louise. I don't know if you want to share with us your opinion as women. As women.
I just, as a listener, I was like, I tried to mark the highlights and then I just stopped because it was amazing to hear all of your inputs. And I think this has been a wonderful panel. And so thank you all for joining us and sharing what you had to say. So really amazing. So thank you so much. And thanks to everyone who listened. And I think a lot of very good questions came in. So really amazing conversation. So thank you, and hopefully see you all soon in another maybe failures panel. Let's see. Let's gear up.
Why not?
Okay. Thank you all, and see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.